You don't have to convince somebody of something that you are, because they know it without you saying it. Like, if you really are the prize, then you won't have to convince somebody of what already is. The truth doesn't have to be proven. It either is the truth or it ain't the truth, and it's obvious when it isn't the truth. And most of the time when people don't feel like they are the prize, that's where they feel like they have to make up by convincing somebody else that they are what they say they are. If you aren't confident in who you are, another person who is confident in who they are, which is a person that you want to be with, will see right through the facade. And if that is what you're trying to attract, then why not assume that role yourself? Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo, and in this video I'm going to be talking about relationship advice that my spiritual journey has taught me. Within the past year and some change, I've been in a relationship, and it has been educational because I went through some things first to sort of teach me or prepare me for where I am now. And it hasn't just been, romantic relationships. Some things that I'm going to say can apply to, your platonic relationship. How you love yourself is a reflection of how you love other people. But within that whole premise, there were specific things that I had to be prepared for that I didn't know that I was preparing for, and the ways in which I thought had to change in order to be prepared for literally one of the best bonds that I've had, the best bond that I've had with another human being. So I'm going to share that with you today. But before I get into it, if you are new here to my channel, hello. Here on Holistic Flow, we are creating a safe space, a space for self-love, self-growth, and maturity. And we're taking a journey towards an overall better mind, body, and spirit connection. If you're with that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you know whenever I upload a new video. After you've done that, thank you so much. Let's get right into the video. So you know how they say the best things come when you least expect it? It's really true. And I'd actually add to it and then say the best things come when you least expect it, but you're not searching for something. You know, when you're at the mall and you're like literally trying to look for something. Well, nobody goes to the mall anymore, but anyways, you're shopping, whether it's in person or online, and you're looking for a specific article of clothing, and you're looking for it to look a certain way. You're looking for it to be designed a certain way. You're looking for a certain brand because you have a place that you need to wear it. So by a certain deadline, you need to buy this certain piece of clothing. And 99 times out of 100, I probably didn't find exactly what I was looking for because I was searching for it and I wasn't letting it come to me. But it's the same with relationships. When you're actually searching for somebody to love you, somebody to see your value, somebody to appreciate you, if you're kind of like playing the pick me game, you're not in the frequency, I'll say that, of attracting something. You're actually in the frequency of desperation. And the absolute best things come to you when you know you don't need it, when you're not desperately actively searching for it. Now, there's a difference between searching for something out of desperation to fill a void and allowing yourself to be open to receiving. A lot of us know that we want something, a bond, love, or whatever it may be, but it comes out of a feeling that we need it, because without it, we're not satisfied. And the key is to be satisfied with yourself before you go out and search for something else to be with you. It's sort of like you have to be indifferent about it. You're okay if you get the exact thing that you're looking for, but then you'll also be okay if you don't have it. I talked about possibly in a couple of videos that in order to get what you really want, or actually your heart's desire, which isn't what you want, what the mind wants, but it's what you need, what the heart needs, then you have to be okay with having the opposite of that. You have to be okay with the fact that people are going to hate you if you want love. You have to be okay with failing in order to succeed. You have to be okay with the opposite thing in order to get the thing that your heart desires. So if your heart desires to be with a companion, you have to be okay and actually really sit down and accept and be content and be joyful with being alone. And that was a real challenge But, you know, something that forced that aloneness was the lockdown in 2020. For me, that's when I really realized that all I ever need is myself. We need companions, like friends, family, and I had that. It's okay to have companionship, but still be alone in the sense of, romantic companionship. And that is why we need to separate the two and be okay with that alone time for a specific season. Sometimes you can get impatient, but whenever you get to a point where you know that you don't need anyone else to fill the love that you so desire in your life, because you can fulfill that, or your relationship with something greater than you can fulfill that, i.e. God, your higher power, then you'll be set to receive that. The next piece of relationship advice that I learned in my spiritual journey, which I felt like was very impactful, was that you shouldn't have to convince anybody of anything. There's this whole saying these young people be saying these days that, you're the prize. Your other person who you're trying to court or is trying to court you should view you as the prize and regard you as such. I feel like a lot of people have to convince themselves that they are the prize in order to convince other people that they are the prize. And you don't have to convince somebody of something that you are, because they know it without you saying it. Like, if you really are the prize, then you won't have to convince somebody of what already is. The truth doesn't have to be proven. It either is the truth or it ain't the truth, and it's obvious when it isn't the truth. And most of the time when people don't feel like they are the prize, that's where they feel like they have to make up by convincing somebody else that they are what they say they are. To me, faking it until you make it, yeah, it can work, but in this situation, I think that it's much more difficult to make it work, because real recognizes real. If you aren't confident in who you are, another person who is confident in who they are, which is a person that you want to be with, will see right through the facade. And if that is what you're trying to attract, then why not assume that role yourself? Assume the confidence. I believe that everybody should think that they are the prize, but don't rob your partner or the other person that you want to be with of thinking that they are also the prize. Any type of bond is a two-way street. No one person should be hogging up all of the effort and the attention. This can go for the stage when you are, already in a committed relationship. This can go for the stage of when you are just dating and getting to know people. It should be an even give and take from the beginning, or else that it's obvious that the other person is not for you. And if they're not for you, it's not only their loss, it's both people's loss. And it's actually both people's gain, because both people realize that their time is no longer being wasted, and so they can go about their separate ways with just doing something different. Now, really quickly, a lot of you all have subscribed to my Holistic Fit Meditation YouTube page, and I greatly appreciate you for that. It's giving a lot of helpful information on there, but I felt like I wanted to reach you all a little bit better. So if you want to deepen your meditation practice, I've curated these Holistic Fit Meditation memberships for you. When you become a member, you get access to live stream guided meditations with me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's geared towards those who want to enhance their journey toward a better mind, body, and spirit connection. So we'll focus on breath work, body scan meditations to be more aware of the body and sync the breath and the mind and the body together. Relieve pain and tension in the body and mind, and enhance your focus and concentration. So we can really get clear about our goals in life, our vision, so we can move forward without so much mental clutter. Plus, you get bonus community Q&A calls and wellness talks every month. So you can go ahead and check that out by clicking the link below to become a member, or you can just go to my website at holisticfitmeditation.com, and I hope to see you practicing soon. No one really needs a soulmate. It's cool to have a soulmate and to be able to identify that your partner may be your soulmate, but if your partner is not your soulmate, that's honestly okay. It's okay to not have a relationship last. It's okay to realize that, oh, I've been talking to this person, or I've been dating around, and I've learned something from this one, something from that one, something from that one, as long as it's intentional. If everybody needed a soulmate, then everyone's soul from the time that our soul is birthed into this body, or really our body is birthed into our soul, because soul is spirit and spirit isn't confined to anything physical. But anyways, if we really needed a mate for our soul, we would have one from the time we, are birthed into this world, from the time we leave. We are already whole as a soul. We don't need anything else to make us whole. And that is why when you realize that you are whole by yourself, your soul mate will come, or whatever you believe, your twin flame will come, which are two different things that if you want me to explain them, I can in a whole different video, but let's not get too off topic. The things that you really want will come when you first have what you need, which is a feeling of wholeness in your soul, in your spirit, within yourself. And then even after you find a soulmate, somebody who you think you want to spend the rest of your life with, even after your physical bodies expire, our souls go elsewhere. So yes, you may be bound to that person for, this physical lifetime, but after this physical lifetime, there is other where your soul goes off elsewhere. This is only temporary. This physical lifetime is only temporary, but there is eternity. This piece of advice goes with my next piece of relationship advice, which is to not be afraid to be wrong. A lot of people stay in certain situations because they were told before that it wouldn't work out. They were told before that that person is no good, or maybe they even felt it within themselves somewhere down the line that this person probably isn't a good person for me, so I should probably leave. But because they've maybe had so many failed relationships in the past, I don't really believe in a failed relationship, but they've had so many failed relationships in the past, they believe that no, this one is the one, so I'm just gonna make it last as long as it needs to. And I believe that nothing has to be forced ever. But a lot of us force things as long as they can be forced because we don't want to be wrong. We want to believe that eventually things will come together, but waiting it out and stressing and forcing an already stressful situation only makes it worse. It's okay to realize that the person that you thought you knew so well has changed, or they've just shown who they really are and they've been a really good actor for a long amount of time. When you develop actual self-love, really deep rooted self-love, you get, first of all, the courage to say no, the courage to walk away, because you know that whatever is best for your emotional health and emotional stability is also best for the other person's emotional health and stability. And then two, you gain the intuition to be able to pick up on those, red flags. Deep down, I feel like we all have an intuition, a gut feeling, a spirit that we know when something isn't good for us. But because of that feeling of, oh, I have to be right about this, I have to stick it out because I have to prove something, a lot of us just stay in situations that aren't good for us, or because we maybe feel like we don't deserve anything better than what we have. And that also comes with the whole self-love piece and feeling whole before you get into a relationship or any type of ship with another person, because hurt people hurt people. So if you are still not healed from something, you would avoid getting into a situation with another person. All these pieces of advice are really good, but this is a really, really good one. You never have to force something that is meant for you, ever. If there is anything that you feel the slightest bit that you're trying to force or you're trying to make it work, it's not for you. When you meet your best friend, sometimes, again, the best things come unexpectedly, but it's so unexpected because it just clicks. You've ever met that person that you just meet them and you're like, I've known you for a while and it's easy to talk to you. I don't feel like I have to paint this image of somebody that I'm not. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to feel like I have to lie or withhold any information. Sometimes it may feel vulnerable, right? But after you get past that really vulnerable feeling, it feels comfortable. That is what not forcing something feels like. It feels comfortable. It feels like you're supposed to open up to it. It feels like you're supposed to receive it. It doesn't feel like you're supposed to force it to happen. And here's a bonus, because I know some people will ask, well, how do you know the difference between something that's meant to be, but you have to put in extra effort towards it, versus something that's being forced? And I'll say that you feel it in your heart. I know it sounds so cliche, but you really do feel it in your heart that you are where you're supposed to be at. And we have to use our intuition, like literally our gut feeling. It tells us everything. Rather, if you're trying to use more so logic, your ego human brain to rationalize certain things and put certain things together, that's when you can know that you're leaning towards the side of forcing. There might be a lot of outside chatter telling you that, you know, you should do this or you should do that, or you should stay away from this person, or you shouldn't do that with this person. Sometimes when, you know, you're in a situation that is for you, you might get confused because you might hear a lot of outside chatter, and sometimes doubt is put in the minds of those around you. Outside forces will try to convince you that what you're feeling in your heart is wrong, because what you're feeling in here is God. What the outside sources might tell you is something that opposes good, something that opposes God's words, right? So on the inside though, you might hear, you know, go for it, follow this, follow what you feel in here. But on the outside chatter, physically, you might be hearing the opposite, right? And that's a battle of the extrinsic versus the intrinsic. I wanted to explain this part further. This isn't about proving other people wrong. It's that when something is really, really meant for you and the divine has orchestrated a certain situation in your life, there is divine, there is positivity, and then there is opposition to positivity. When your own judgment, when your own self-love, when that is absent, when judgment and self-love is absent from a situation, no outside forces will need to come and mess up your situation, because our lack of judgment and our simple errors in judgment have already messed up the situation, right? But if it's inside, if you're feeling it inside, if it's your intuition telling you that you're exactly where you need to be, that is when we need to use, again, our judgment to decipher if doubt is put in the minds of, you know, whether it be our friends, our family members, and they may speak against the things that we feel so strongly is meant to be. But that is why it's so important to trust yourself, trust your own intuition, trust your own instinct, because nobody else will understand fully the path that you have to walk on, because you're gonna have to walk it alone a lot of the times. But when something is for you, you won't have to question it. You won't have to rationalize it in your head. You'll feel it, and there will be opposition against it. I just want to let you know that. Opposition is there to confuse you. There is good and there is evil. I can truly and confidently say that. There is positivity and there is opposition to positivity, and you just have to listen to positivity. So those are the main pieces of advice that I've learned about romantic relationships from my spiritual journey. I don't usually talk about things like this, like romantic relationships and whatnot. So if you like, advice videos like this, or like dating advice videos, I'm not a relationship expert by any means, but if you want more, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.